Have you ever opened up your calendar and felt tired before the day even started? Welcome back. Today, I want to talk about something that I see constantly with my high performing clients, managers, leaders, and other professionals. And it's something that doesn't get enough attention but drives burnout quietly and consistently. I call it boundary burnout or calendar burnout. Now, it's basically what happens when your calendar stops supporting you and pretty much starts owning you. It's an energy issue and a boundary issue, and of course, ultimately, a sustainability issue. Now, what is boundary burnout? Boundary burnout is basically burnout that comes from over accessibility. It's not from working too hard per se, but from being too reachable. So here's what it looks like. You're living in reaction mode. You have no uninterrupted time to think. You're responding to emails all day, but feel like nothing meaningful is getting done. And at the end of the day, you're wondering, what exactly did I accomplish? Now, on the outside, you look productive, but on the inside, you're completely depleted. Your calendar is full, but your capacity is empty. Now, it's common in corporate culture because it's baked into workplace culture. It's not a personal failure, boundary burnout. It's just in a lot of ways just the way things are. So one of the things that drives it is constant availability. Back in the day, I remember when I was growing up, when my father left work, he came home and that was it. There was no such thing as email. You're not reachable after work, and that's it. Even back then, doctors were reachable by pagers. You were paged, and and then you had to go, pick up a phone, usually a landline, and then call, and then go on from there. So constant availability leads to boundary burnout. And sadly, some environments reward responsiveness rather than results. If you reply quickly, people think, "Oh wow, you're a hard worker." It doesn't matter whether you have results or not, as long as, "Oh wow, they're so responsive." "Oh, even if you call them at midnight, they'll still respond." And then sometimes, if you're not quickly responsive, people start making assumptions. Another thing that drives boundary burnout is meeting overload. So many meetings exist because no one actually asked if this had to be a meeting. Everyone snidely uses the phrase, the meeting that could have been an email, but it's true. There are some meetings that do not need to happen. We just have this meeting overload. Thirdly, we have email and messaging creep. Emails just bleed into everything. And a lot of times you find people who are taken to task because they didn't answer an email at 6 p.m., even though their workday ended at 5. Finally, high achiever habits. Now, if you're capable, reliable, and conscientious, people will simply keep on giving you more work to do, because a lot of times the reward for work is more work. And this is how, in a lot of ways, your time gets outsourced without your consent. So, you know, there's a human cost to this. You lose creativity, strategic thinking, emotional regulation, patience, and presence when you constantly feel you have to be on all the time, and your brain has to keep on switching tasks, so you're unable to do really any deep, meaningful work. The truth is that you do not become more available, more effective by being more available. You become effective by being intentional. When your calendar owns you instead of the other way around, burnout isn't far behind. So, these are a few doable shifts that will help you take your calendar back. And if any one of these resonate with you, please feel free to send me a message. So try these. Number one, set meeting boundaries. Try maybe no meeting mornings or no meeting Fridays, or 20-minute meetings instead of 30-minute meetings, or 40 or 50-minute meetings instead of 60-minute meetings. So you're shortening meeting times so that things get done and get done on time. This can be done. I mean, I run a business and I have meetings, and I keep my meetings to 30 minutes or less, because let's not sit and talk about it all the time. Let us be about it. Now, before accepting a meeting as a leader and manager, ask, what's the goal? Do you need to be there? And can this be handled asynchronously? So, do we have to have a meeting about it? Can we send a few emails, make a few phone calls, and have this thing handled? Because not every invitation requires you to be there. Number two, create email boundaries. Email is a tool, not a leash. Instead of checking your email constantly, choose windows, maybe late morning, late afternoon, or early morning, mid afternoon, and just before you go home. So that you're not just constantly on a hamster wheel of checking emails and responding to emails all day long. But if you have your windows, it's still enough time to check your email in batches. Turn off things like push notifications and all of that. That is just stuff pinging at you, calling out to you, and you don't have time to think. Your brain needs some uninterrupted time to function well. Okay. You can set expectations with others. I'm in focus work blocks during da 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 da, and I will respond to emails at designated times. Sometimes you just have to set expectations with people, and you never know. Those people might pick up those habits too and create a more effective workplace. Number three, protect your availability. Block time on your calendar where you're sitting and actually doing work, planning, doing your administrative tasks, and even taking breaks. A lunch break, a break to walk out of your office and come back, or something like that. Protect your time, or else people will put things on your calendar, and just keep putting things on your calendar because you don't complain. And when people ask, you can say, I'm available. For example, you can say, I'm available between 1 and 3 p.m. and go from there. Sometimes we just have to step up and be brave enough to set expectations. Number four, use time blocking strategies at work. Okay. And, you can group your day into categories as a leader: focus work, meetings, communication, etc., so that you're not just pinging around from thing to thing to thing to thing. And from the phrase, slay your dragons for breakfast so they don't eat your lunch, match your harder tasks to the morning, if that is your high energy time. When you have if you're somebody who has higher energy in the afternoon, put your harder tasks at those times, and treat your time blocks like real appointments. Sit down, do what you have to do, instead of just running after emails and being reactive all day. This, I think, is the most important one. Number five, pause before saying yes. You don't have to say yes to everything. It might not be in alignment. It might not even be something you necessarily need to do. It might be somebody trying to pass off busy work onto you. So before you agree to anything, take time to think about it. Tell people, I will think about it. And then ask yourself, does this align with my priorities? What has to shift? What are my trade offs if I say yes? And another thing to ask is, am I really the best person for this? Sometimes people, like I said, they're wanting to just push off tasks and will just give it to anyone who will take the tasks. So I'm just going to recap real quick how to take your calendar back and how to prevent a boundary burnout. One, set meeting boundaries. Two, set email boundaries. Three, protect your personal availability. Set personal boundaries. Four, use time blocking strategies. And five, pause before you say yes to the next thing, yes to the next task, and yes to the next task. Let me check my capacity and get back to you. Is valid response. So, in closing, Boundary burnout isn't about being bad at time management. Okay. It's about your attention. You don't want to lose ownership of your own attention. Your calendar should not be your calendar should not be a tyrant because it's just a tool. And when you reclaim your time, you reclaim your clarity, you reclaim your energy, you reclaim your creativity, and you reclaim your leadership capacity. And here's something to remember: you don't need more hours in a day. You need stronger boundaries around the hours that you already have. Your work can still be excellent without you constantly being available. And that shift is where sustainable success begins and burnout prevention starts. So, if this resonated with you, just make up your mind. Decide you're going to do one thing to protect your time, to protect your calendar. Start there. A lot of times these shifts are not made in big dramatic leaps and bounds. It's just a matter of taking small shifts every day. And one fine day you look back and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm a new person. So much has changed. So, and also if you want deeper support around boundaries, burnout prevention, or building a healthier work rhythm, you know where to find me. My links will be in the show notes. Until next time, protect your time, protect your energy, and avoid boundary burnout.